Hey everybody, Karen from Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. So we are going to ask the lead team some questions about Dr. Stephen Greer. There was a community member who left a comment and said, that they were uncertain about this person. And so we're going to talk a little bit about him. I'm not always that comfortable, although he is quite a public figure. I kind of hope that the lead team doesn't say that he's not to be trusted, but we want the truth from them, obviously. It's just that I'm not into smearing people, maybe except for a few of our politicians that are just unbelievably out of control. But so we'll see what happens. But let's learn a little bit more about him. Okay, allegedly and all for entertainment purposes only. All right. So I did a call out for questions, and many of you wanted to better understand whether he was acting in good faith, whether the extraordinary claims, which have to do with extraterrestrial life, whether his claims with his work of extraterrestrials, disclosure, and CE5 are accurate. CE5 is Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, which is interesting because have you guys seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind, at least recently? That would be interesting to watch that again. So Dr. Greer, I'm going to give you a little explanation of who he is in case you've never heard of him before, okay? And I would say I've learned of him maybe a year ago, so you're not, if you don't know who he is, no worries about it, but it might be interesting still. So I'm going to give you a little explanation, and then you guys had about 24 questions that I'm going to try to buzz through in 30 minutes. You know how that goes. And then I do have two personal questions that community members had asked that's related to extraterrestrials in some way, okay, that we can learn from and see what the lead team has to say. So Dr. Greer is an American ufologist, ufologist, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but documentary producer. So he does have a documentary, maybe more than one, and a retired emergency physician, best known for founding the Disclosure Project and the Center for the Study of Extraterrestrial Intelligence. He campaigns for government transparency and the public release of classified information regarding UFOs and extraterrestrial life. Okay, so let's do a little prayer here. Make sure we've got the right energy coming in for us. I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, the lead team collective, and only those of the highest and purest light. And ask Archangel Michael to please protect my channel, your channel, our community, and the lead team collective, so it is all of the highest and purest light. Amen. Hey lead team, how's it going today? Awesome. Thank you so much for being here as always and partnering with us. And we're all doing our 30-day challenge. A lot of us are doing the 30-day challenge. I, in full disclosure, have not done it yet today. What time is it? It is 12:44, so I haven't started. I did yesterday, but I do need to do today. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going to put pressure on myself to do it first thing in the morning. It's probably better to do it first thing in the morning, but I will get to it. In fact, I'm going to open my drawer right here and pull out my journal, and I'll show you. Some days I'll talk about it. I'll probably talk about it more in the spirit circle in the playground section, but of what I'm writing about. But here's my journal. I've got my crystals on there from day one. So I'm going to pull that out to remind myself. Okay, so hopefully you guys are working on your relationship with your spirit teams as well. So yeah, so lead team, thank you for partnering with us. Let's see. So lead team, we've got questions, obviously all allegedly in entertainment purposes only. about Dr. Stephen Greer. Are you familiar with this person, this human? We will ask if he's human because people had a question about that. Yes? Okay. Is there anything that would not be on our highest and best to explore today? No. Okay. All right. Well, here we go with the questions. Number 1, is Dr. Stephen Greer acting in good faith regarding his public work? Yes, he is. Has he had genuine contact with classified information related to UAPs? Yes, so unidentified, I forgot what the A stands for. You guys might know. Can you put in the comments? Well, only one person needs to put in the comments, but I think it's unidentified aerial phenomenon, maybe. Would studying his work be beneficial for us? Yes. And I don't know who us is, but yeah. So if you have an interest in it, has his mission changed since he started his CE5 work? Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. Yes, his mission has changed. Have his motives changed since he first started his work? And then I'll hone in on that. Yes. Are his motives positive for humanity? Yes. Are his motives of the light? Yes. Are his motives of white hat status? Yes. Is he a white hat? No. Are his motives driven by lower vibration energy? No. Has he been, quote unquote, captured, if you believe in that, by lower energies? No. Are the claims about CE5, again, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, substantially accurate? Yes. Now I've listened to some of his interviews, but nothing stands out to me really besides the fact that we're going to have disclosure. That's the only thing that really sticks out to me. I don't really remember much of anything else, even though I've listened to him a few times. So just some context. Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind is a protocol that teaches people to intentionally initiate peaceful contact with extraterrestrial civilizations through meditation and focused concentration. That's right. I believe after he was a physician, or before he was a physician, he did like a lot of practice in meditation. Like I think he was a meditation teacher and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, so that's what Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind is all about. It's a protocol to help you reach out to and make contact with extraterrestrial civilizations. And I think he's encouraging people to do that so that more and more, so that we can have safe and peaceful disclosure. Is that the case? Is that his motive, basically? Yes. Okay. So when contact occurs during CE5 events, so he has these events, basically, yes. When contact occurs during those events, are the beings actually extraterrestrial? Yes. Or are they astral entities? That's specifically a question somebody asked. Yes. Are they the same thing, according to the lead team? Yes. Okay. So, you guys might need clarification on that. From what I'm learning, still getting my head wrapped around timelines and dimensions and all that. But what is sitting with me right now is, and I will actually ask them as a way of explanation, But lead team. So the way humans, I think, at least I think about extraterrestrials before I started exploring these dimensions and timelines and all that, is that there's Earth, and then there's the galaxy outside of Earth. So Earth is floating around with other land masses, basically stars, okay? And that extraterrestrials would be living on those additional stars or other planets. So, and that if we were to go to those other planets and actually be able to survive getting there, that we'd actually be able to meet them. So it would be like going to another country and seeing them, but instead we're going to another planet and seeing them. So going to another country and meeting each other, other humans, it would be like going to another planet. Is that how it really is? No. Okay. So this is where they're saying extraterrestrials and the astral entities are they the same thing? Is that why you're saying, yeah? That's why they answered that question. So, is Earth in its own dimension? So now we have to dive into dimensions for a second just to see if we can understand this. I'm not an expert. I'm just trying to explore this stuff and hopefully ask the right questions. So Earth is a 3D dimension. No, well, right now it's 4D. Is that correct? We're 4D? Yes. So if we were to go through the sky and out into the quote-unquote universe, would we see other planets? No. Okay. This is where it gets a little weird. So we are in a fourth dimension experience and have been told that we're living within a galaxy. Is that correct? Yes. And is that galaxy actually real the way that we've been told it is? No. Okay. So are we really living in a hologram, like or a terranium type of experience? Yes. So, and that's the fourth dimension. Yes. So if we were to meet other beings, other spirits having experiences, would they be from other dimensions? Yes. Or would they be from other planets, quote unquote planets? No. So in Star Trek, for instance, if Star Trek season 1 is a documentary, which I've heard people say, well, one person in particular say, would you agree that Star Trek is a documentary? The season 1 anyways? Yes. But, you know, that's what led us to believe that we would be in the solar system, basically. So in Star Trek, are they really moving through dimensions? Yes. Okay. I'm only on episode 3. It's taken me a while to get back through it, but it's so relaxing. It's really interesting. So I'm going to watch the whole series again, but just kind of in between other things. It's interesting because it's been so long. I used to love Star Trek when I was a kid, but it's been so long. I loved the movies. So I can't even tell you when the last time I watched the first season. Probably the only when I think it came out in 66, if I remember correctly. So I wasn't even born yet. So I'm sure I saw it in the 70s, but okay. So that answers a little bit of that. So let me know what you think about all that, you guys. Does any of that sit right with you? The dimensions versus the galaxy, the solar system? I don't know. So what are our scientists? What are the scientists actually studying? And maybe there really is what they believe there is, but it's in dimensions instead. Yes. Okay. So try to get your head wrapped around that for a minute. Oh, let's see. Okay, so okay. Are those beings able to present themselves in different forms to humans? So if we were to meet extraterrestrials and astral entities, so they are able to present themselves in different forms to humans? All of them? So they said yes and no, not all of them. Okay. Have hybrid experiments been carried out by extraterrestrials? Yes. Have hybrid experiments been carried out by humans? Yes. And I do have another video on hybrids if you're wondering about that. You could just go to the channel and type in hybrids. You could search. Have hybrid experiments been carried out by a government on Earth? You guys get very specific. I love that. Yes. Have hybrid experiments, and I think hybrid here people are referring to mixing human and extraterrestrial DNA. I'm not sure if that's the person who asked these questions, if that's what was intended, but that's how we're responding, lead team. Yes? Okay. Have hybrid experiments been carried out by private organizations on Earth? Yes. Is the reported human extraterrestrial breeding program, what? Never heard of that, actually being carried out by astral entities rather than extraterrestrials? No, again, and we've already determined that they're really one and the same thing. So they said no. Okay, so let me clarify. Is the reported human extraterrestrial breeding program, is there actual breeding program? What the actual hell? What the hell? Yes. Is this a bad thing? Is this something for us to be worried about, scared about? No. Have you guys noticed any of the threads that are being woven into scary people who are talking about different topics of how future is going to look like and how we're moving towards, and they can make it sound very scary. But then these are some of the same things we've been talking about in the spiritual community about how the golden future is going to look. It's so interesting to see how they're merging right now, but that people who aren't in the having these kind of conversations about like the golden future that Diana Cooper talked about, people who aren't having these kind of conversations, they're like freaking out about it and can really spin it in a way that looks really, really bad, like, okay, that's not good for humans, but we're going to have to, it's just fascinating. Is anyone else noticing that thread? That sometimes they'll talk about something and I'm like, I hadn't thought of it like that, but this is what the community, the golden future is. If that's what the golden future is going to bring, then we might have to go in that direction. You know what I mean? I don't know. I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but maybe you guys can. Okay, number 14. Is the purpose of that breeding program, I think the word breeding just sounds, but it is what it is the purpose of the breeding program to create humans who are more compliant and less likely to question authority? No. Is the breeding program a white hat, higher vibration program? Yes. Is it a program that will allow spirits? This is what I was thinking about. It was something like this. I was listening to a DNA, somebody having a conversation about DNA and how they were going to change something with CRISPR technology and be able to change the genes. So for when somebody is born and that one of their genomes or whatever is, causing disease. And so they can go in with CRISPR technology and change that genome. and whether or not that's basically changing the human experience. But yeah, it is. And the thing is, then you got to, this is what occurred to me, because whoever I was hearing them talk, whoever was sharing this information was freaking out a little bit about how it was kind of similar to this question. Like, are they doing it for nefarious reasons, basically, right? And my immediate thought was, just from all the stuff we've been talking about, my immediate thought was, we have to remember this is a car. This is a car. And what if we can allow technology and science to create the car so that our spirits can come back to Earth and have a better experience? Does it matter, and you may disagree with me, I don't know, but does it matter if the human DNA changes? What difference does it make? It's a car. It's a car. So if you think of how we change models of cars all the time, does it matter if it's not for nefarious reasons? So that your spirit could choose to come back to Earth and have a better experience. That's how I'm seeing it. Let me know what you think about that. Okay. So is the breeding program to create humans is it for nefarious reasons? No. Can it be used for nefarious reasons? Yes. And that's where the safeguards, we always have to have safeguards on things. That's one of my issues with the current administration, probably all of them. I just wasn't as aware in the past. But this current administration appears to be removing some safeguards, cutting down staff of all the different areas that would monitor things. Now, whether they were efficient or not, I'm not sure. But it didn't seem like before they started cutting staff that they actually looked into the efficiency of each of the areas. They just started cutting. I could be wrong about that, but that's how it appeared, because the cutting happened like within a month, right, of when Trump took over, right? So as long as we have safeguards for things, I think there always has to be. Same with this AI thing. It's getting pushed out very fast, and, we might have to backpedal a little bit, So, but does that mean the entire thing is wrong? No, maybe not. Are you saying the entire thing is wrong, lead team, or no? Are you agreeing with me that the entire thing is not wrong? Yes. Okay. But we have to have safeguards, and we have to trust the people that are in positions of authority to put the appropriate safeguards around all these types of programs, correct? Around our food systems. And we already know in the United States, we were just talking about this in the playground this morning, that in the United States, the safeguards for our food has been completely of disregard to the human body. Would you agree with that? Yes. So will the golden future, so these safeguards that are being discussed now, that is for the benefit of the human experience? Yes. Okay. And again, if you just keep thinking of yourself as a vehicle for your spirit to move around in, that's how I see it. And apparently the lead team agrees with me. It just makes it so much easier. Yeah. Okay. Does free energy technology currently exist on Earth? Yes. Is it known only to a small number of people? Yes. Is that one of the reasons why the scientists that have gone missing, does most of it have to do with this free energy technology? Yes. And they're trying to, I'm sure people lose money. It's all about the money. They're not too happy about it getting out in the open, out in the public. Yes. Okay. Does the government participate in fake alien abductions to make humans afraid of extraterrestrials? Yes. And just a reminder that extraterrestrials are really our brothers and sisters, our soul families. Yes. So when you think of extraterrestrials and just think of those kind of scary looking, big-eyed, different looking shape, I don't really see it as scary anymore, but that's their vehicle. That's their vehicle of their spirit moving around. It's just a different looking vehicle. It's a Ford versus a Kia, a Mustang versus a Cadillac. It's just a different kind of vehicle. So the word extraterrestrial even, or alien, is really getting out of even my consciousness when I think of them, if I just think of them as part of our soul family. It's just part of we're all big soul family. We just come from different places. Yes. Okay. Is open contact or disclosure being blocked by governments or corporations? Yes. Is it governments? Yes. Is it also corporations? Yeah. Yeah, because they're going to lose a ton of money because they're going to be able to tell us how to get the free energy. So, yes. Is the government planning Operation Bluebeam to create a false extraterrestrial disclosure? Yes. Yes, they are. Is it going to be successful? No. And are we still slated right now to have contact disclosure in 2027? Yes, I asked that in a previous video. So remember, timelines can change, but we'll just keep checking in on it. Are alien abductions actually carried out by humans rather than non-human intelligence? Yes. What the hell? Mother effers. Yes, yes. Okay, so some context there, including Dr. Greer says there are no hostile extraterrestrial civilizations interacting with humanity. That's what Dr. Greer says. Okay, so are there extraterrestrial beings with negative intentions towards humanity? No. Okay, that is a little difficult because we have talked about they know what I'm going to say. We have talked about the, what are those things called? Those things. Okay, but this is the language again, extraterrestrial. We're talking about spiritual beings having that particular experience, human experience, or whatever experience they're having. What do we call it? Oh, okay. I gotta pause for a second, figure this out. So for some reason, I have a hard time remembering the word reptilian. It's just not a part of my everyday vocabulary. So that's what I always want to say gladiator. I don't know why, but reptilian. Okay. So that's the part so let's see. The modern reptilian narrative was popularized largely by David Icke, beginning in the 1990s. So that's interesting. It was popularized by one person. We might have to do a poll on David Icke. I might have to do that. Do you guys notice I'm doing polls every day? I love it so much. We're going to do polls and then you guys can ask your questions and then I didn't do a poll with this Dr. Greer, but for now on, I'll give you poll results at the beginning of each episode. So David Icke proposed that certain world leaders and influential families were actually shape-shifting reptilians, beings from another dimension. Again, it's another dimension thing, okay? His claim has been widely criticized for lacking evidence, and some researchers have also argued that parts of his work echo older anti-Semitic conspiracy theories by replacing references to Jewish people with vague global elites. Okay, well, that's another whole topic. Okay, some spiritual communities don't take reptilian ideas literally. Instead, they use reptilian as a metaphor For fear-based consciousness, I haven't heard that. Domination and control, survival. Okay. And there's draconians. I've heard that too. So I just think it's fascinating. One of the things we're doing in the playground, which is the third level of the spirit circle now, is just I'm throwing out like, this is what I'm hearing. What do we want instead? Because to keep the vibration higher around all these topics. But like, it's interesting to me to be like, well, how do we know for sure? I mean, David Icke is one person who plants the seed and then it goes, and is there any proof? I mean, really proof, right? Scientific proof. But how, and then the story just, you believe it because you've heard the story over and over again. And you're like, well, if I've heard it from these people, it must be true. How do we know? How do we really know that the whole reptilian thing is really true? Although I think I've asked the lead team. I'd have to go back. I mean, I'm still going to ask them again. But I'm pretty sure I asked them about the reptilian stuff. But again, it could have been the way that I was asking the question. So the term here, are there extraterrestrial beings with negative intentions? Because people would say that they're reptilians, at least some of the reptilians. Yeah, because I believe when we were talking about hybrids, a lot of us have might be mixed with reptilian. It's like a soul family type of thing. I don't know. The reptilian versus, okay, so you have your soul families, like the starseed families, right? But then you also have like Arcturian, Palladian, those would be considered, I think those are soul families, right? Palladian, and then, so the reptilians are also, so the question is that correct for one? Arcturian, Palladian, reptilian, are these all soul families? And are those names, they're saying yes, and are those names that they've given themselves? Yes, just like you gave yourself the lead team collective? Yes, okay. So those are names they've given themselves and then humans have learned that from them? Yes. So Dr. Greer says there are no hostile extraterrestrials, and actually the question was no hostile extraterrestrial civilizations. The answer was yes to that. Civilizations. Does that mean there are no hostile extraterrestrials at all? No. And maybe the word hostile is not. So there are some lower vibration extraterrestrial beings or souls that have negative intentions. Or let's say lower vibration intentions. Yes. And would you put some of the reptilians, I almost said gladiators again. We'll just call them gladiators. Would you just put some of the reptilians in that category? Yes. So is Dr. Greer correct on that part? No. Well, why does he believe that? I mean, that's amazing. I would like to believe there are no extraterrestrial beings with negative intentions. Yes. So is he being truthful about that? Yes. Am I just misunderstanding what he believes? Yes. Okay. And I don't really know enough to clarify. Is Dr. Greer or Ishmael Perez, which one is more accurate regarding the existence of negative extraterrestrial beings? Is Dr. Greer more accurate about the existence of negative? Oh, wow. Yes. Is Ishmael Perez more accurate regarding the existence? Yes. Okay, so you're saying they're both accurate? Yes. Are they both wrong? Is it both things? Are both things happening? Yes. Okay. This is us trying to nail down 100% accuracy on information, and I'm going to continue to say it every single time. That really is not the goal. That's not my goal. My goal is just to say, wow, there's more going on in this universe than I expected there to be. But to not get so caught up in like, I have to believe this, I have to believe that. If you're listening to one person and you get the ick, just follow that. That's all that matters. Doesn't mean that they're wrong, actually. Just you got the ick. It's not right for you at that time. But to try, this is how humans get so caught up. We keep blaming each other for things. And you're wrong and I'm right. Let's just say we're all wrong and we're all right. I mean, there's so many, everything's possible at the same time. So to me, that's just easier to look at that way. We're not trying to get, I don't know. I just don't think I don't think it's possible, you guys. Eternity. We are eternal beings. Can you imagine the possibilities, the number of possibilities? It's eternal. It's impossible. But our human ego has to put things in boxes, right? So I think that's part of the kind of the awakening process, is to stop trying to do that. And the lead team is really wide swing yes on that. Really wide swing yes on that. Okay. Is Bashar, you guys know who Bashar is? I'm asking the lead team. Yes. Is Bashar telling the truth about extraterrestrial? Oh, well, Bashar is a entity who's channeled. Is he telling the truth about extraterrestrials? Yes. You're going to hear a beeping for a second, but I don't need to get up and pressure cooking some things. Okay, so Bashar is telling the truth about extraterrestrials. Yes. So here's the question for those of you who have really dug into Bashar, Dr. Greer, Ishmael, and now you're hearing what they're saying. What inconsistencies are you hearing now? And again, just keep in mind, they may not be inconsistencies because it just depends on how things are asked. And is it possible that all those things that you think are inconsistencies could be true at the same time? That is the question. Are the concerns expressed by so-called extraterrestrials about nuclear technology and environmental destruction primarily about protecting Earth rather than protecting humanity? No. It's kind of a loaded question. The so-called extraterrestrials, right? About nuclear technology. I don't know enough about either one of these things to clarify, but they are saying no. Is the timing of open disclosure or first contact determined by a specific group or organization? No. Is it determined by the collective? Yes, and it has to, the collective energy, correct? Yeah, so I think is it about just when we're ready? Like energetically ready? Is that, yep, okay, so energetically ready. That makes sense to me. Okay, we have two personal questions. So the first one was, my father worked, so the lead team will tap into you. I'm going to ask them to tap into whoever asked this question. My father worked as a civilian aeronautical engineer testing missiles at remote military locations until his unexpected death in 1971. Although that was his official job, I've begun wondering whether he may actually have been involved in classified extraterrestrial related operations. What? Okay, let's find out. Entertainment purposes only. So lead team, can you tap into this person and her father? Okay, so you know the story, right? Is that, okay. So was his death, did his death have anything to do with his job? Yes. And was he involved in classified extraterrestrial related operations? Yes. Oh my. Was his death intentional? I'm sorry about that. Yes, it was. If so, did what happened ultimately protect our family? Yes, it really did. Wide swing on that. Wow, that's amazing. All right, well, hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps you kind of get some clarity around that. Okay, the next one is my family saw a cigar-shaped UFO in the 1960s. Okay, so lead team, this person wants to know, was the cigar-shaped UFO from the that they saw in the 1960s, was it a man-made craft? No. Or was it a benevolent extraterrestrial spacecraft? Yes. Was it a malevolent extraterrestrial spacecraft? No, it was not. Wow, very cool. Very cool. All right, you guys, as always, thank you so much for your questions, and I will see you tomorrow night. I'm going to start, like I said, I'm going to start reading poll responses starting tomorrow. So when I do them based on the polls, I think that'll be really fun. So we'll see how many people responded and how many agree or disagree with the topic. Then you'll just kind of get a feel for the community. So, and then ask the questions that came out of it. All right, take care. Bye-bye.